So you finally have the diagnosis, autism, or autism spectrum disorder, and you're in the United Kingdom. What do you do now? Where do you go from here? That's what I'm about to tell you. Hello again, and in this episode, I'm here to tell you the 6 most important things I think you should do once a diagnosis is made for your child or someone you look after or someone you love. I base this on my experience of having 2 autistic teens. It may or may not help you, but some items in this list are non-negotiable. It is a must that you do it. So as a parent of 2 autistic teens, we found out some of these things by accident. It's not advertised. Through random conversations, speaking to teachers, speaking to other parents that are going through the same thing. So these apply for those that are living in the United Kingdom, England in particular. And if you're living in another part of the world, hopefully you will find some similarities in these things that I'm about to tell you. Before I get onto the list though, let me tell you that a diagnosis of autism can be made at any point in anyone's life. Usually on average here in the United Kingdom, diagnosis is made at the age of 5. And statistically, it has shown that girls get diagnosed later than boys. It could be because boys usually display more aggressive behavior, more erratic behavior, and girls have been known to be really good at what is known as masking. So regardless of what age, here are the 6 things I think you should do or know once a diagnosis of autism is made. Number 1, seek support and information. This is new to you. So find out about support groups. Find out about the National Autistic Society. That's a good place to start. Find out about autism services that are available within your local area. Look at the MenCap website. So establish your network. Build connections with other parents going through the same challenges. Also, just a bonus point in this number 1, let the vital services like gas, electric, and water know about your situation. You won't necessarily get a discount, but you may be put on a priority list in case there are shortages or some breakdown in the service. You'll be prioritized when you're on that list. Number 2, arrange and find out about educational support. So if your child is in a mainstream school, you should let the school know ASAP. They should provide, note the use of the word should. They should provide tailored support and make the necessary adjustments. Request what is known as an Education, Health and Care Plan, or an EHCP. This will outline the educational, health and care needs that your child might require in the future, even in the present. Alongside the school, your local authority should and will start the assessment process. It's not always straightforward. A lot of parents don't always get the result that they want. So that's just sort of the reality of things. We have been lucky and we are currently getting the support that we need. But every parent or every situation is different. Also, your local authority might give you or should give you a list of schools that are suitable to meet your child's need. Number 3, access health services. Talk to your GP, ensuring that your child's diagnosis is recorded. Request for specialist referrals, speech and language therapy, occupational therapy, clinical psychology, and most importantly, check if your child qualifies for a social worker. With a designated social worker, they can open channels for you. They can tell you about other services that you might benefit from. And I would advise you to do this as soon as you can, because there is quite a long waiting list to be seen. Number 4, apply for financial support. So at this point, I will assume you've got access to the internet. Go to the gov.uk website and type in the letters DLA. This stands for Disability Living Allowance. It is not called that anymore, but it will yield the results that you're looking for. It goes without saying, apply for it. It is a long and tedious form, but it aims to get the best information so they can assess your child's case and hopefully get a decision that suits your child's needs. These funds will help cover the extra costs of raising an autistic child. For those over 16 years of age, the same page will give you the information you need. As a parent or a carer, for instance, the grandparents, you may also qualify for carer's allowance. Note that there are financial thresholds for you to qualify for it. So find out from your social worker, once you have one, if your child also qualifies for social services funding. This can also help with some extracurricular activities for your child, like weekend groups tailored for special needs children, annual passes to places like Peppa Pig World or Paulton's Park, or some other local parks. Number 5, apply for access cards that may be relevant. For instance, your blue badge, or also known as your disability badge that you can use in some car parks. Some car parks, with the use of that blue badge, will mean that you will be eligible for free parking for about 3 hours. If they also use a wheelchair or some mobility aid, it just allows you a bit more space, a bit more freedom to move around when you're traveling with your child. Also, if you go to a mall, if you go to a shopping center, there are designated spaces for you. There are also other access cards that you can apply for just to help, with mobility. So go to a website called www.accesscard.online. And you can go onto the internet and look for that. That works nationally. They also describe it in some places. They call it a disability passport. And then in your local council, in your local area, find out some local disability access cards, because you can get discounts and benefits with some local venue. So yeah, it's a must. You need to try and do this. And now we get to the most important point. Understand your child's needs. So I had a guest on one of my episodes about in my series, My Heart, Your Voice. She said about learning the language. It is like learning a new way of communicating. I mean, as a parent, I totally get denial. I totally get disbelief. I mean, when our youngest youngest child was diagnosed, a few years after our eldest was diagnosed, I was in total denial. In fact, I was in a prolonged state of denial. I couldn't talk to anyone about it. People would ask about Isaac. I'd say, yeah, as usual, he's this and he's that, he's autistic. But I couldn't get myself to talk about Isla. I still struggle now, but I know that my feelings shouldn't get in the way of doing what's best for them. So if you're finding it hard and you're finding yourself in denial, man, I totally get you. Okay? I get you, mate. I really do. And I hope as time passes, it gets easier for you. Most parents, they only want what's best for their child. In the normal sense of the phrase, it just means that your child acquiring the necessary skills and knowledge to eventually make it on their own, especially when our time passes. it will be significantly different for autistic children. There are high-functioning autistics, yes, those that run households, those that hold jobs, but there are also those that are highly vulnerable and require lifelong care and supervision. Well, it is a spectrum. And to be honest, sometimes it's not pretty. In fact, it can be downright messy. So it is very important for us parents to know what our autistic children require as early as possible. But it might surprise you in the future. So keep a diary, a record of your child's behaviors, the triggers, their progress. Work with the teachers, work with the support workers, work with people that know your child best. Individualize your strategies and implement them consistently. Because if there is one thing that autistics don't like, is inconsistency. And be aware of your child's sensory and communication needs. Well, you can use visual aids. Some of them are called PECs. You can use Macton. You can use sign language. Find out what works best for your child. Isaac, my eldest, he's nonverbal. Isla can speak a few words and string a simple sentence. So it's very different for the two of them. Our mode of communication is very different for the two of them. So there. I hope you found this video useful and helpful. And I wouldn't be able to finish this without giving Vicky a massive thanks for helping me write the script, for giving me some of the information that I require and needed so I could write the script for this episode. And if you do find this useful, and if you found a little bit of, anything that was helpful in everything that I said, please consider subscribing to the channel. It will help us out, and hopefully you can make more of these videos that some of you might or might not find helpful. But anyway, thank you very much for listening, and I will speak to you soon.